PDA, do you say?
PDA
What is PDA?
is public display of affection.
I hate that. I can't deal with that.
So, for example, when you browsing 小红书 or Bilibili, you saw people like couples daily kissing, hugging each other. Or let's not even say social media. We're talking about in real life, when you hang with your friends or even just saw strangers.
Why
on the
would you
streets.
torture yourself like that?
So you wouldn't want to have a look at all.
I mean, yeah, there's value looking in in these contents. I guess they provide a sense of consolation for you. But ultimately, I don't really learn much through, I guess, relationship of other people. Well, I don't know if that's conducive to my own relationship in my life.
Interesting, because the point of when you say you're not learning much through other people's relationship, I guess what you meant is you can learn a lot through other people's relationship, but not through the way that they PDA. Right? So you learn, you can see couples interacting with each other, how they communicate with each other. For example, me personally, I like to listen to podcasts from 40-year married old couples interviewing other people, interviewing other couples about their secrets in terms of marriage, in terms of successful relationship. And actually, there are certain rules. I wouldn't say rules. There are certain findings or learnings from that. Obviously, different relationship is very different.
Yeah, sure.
But I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like when you meant you can't learn much from other people's relationship, is you can learn from other people's relationship, but not in that format. Not in the format of just displaying all the sweetness of a relationship. Is that what you were saying, or it was just my personal opinion now?
Yeah, I mean it's, it's not not to be a pessimist, but I think relationship isn't just about the sweetness that it holds. Of course, is it's a bittersweet thing, isn't it? There's a hardship in every relationship, and there's the beautiful moments where you think I'm so happy, I'm so blessed, it's just amazing that I have this person in my life. And I don't want to focus on one very specific area, the sweet side of it, and neglect, all the other aspects that are perhaps involved in a relationship. It's like, when you're trying to eat a donut, Krispy Kreme, yeah, it's sweet, it's delicious, but what about the consequence of having 5 of them? How are you
Diabetes.
Gonna feel? You're probably going to become, pre-diabetic after, so many of them, and it's not overly healthy. And it's, I think with the internet or content on this type of topic, it's, you kind of feed into a very specific genre, a specific vision of what relationship or love
should
probably
look like.
is looking like for other people.
Yeah.
And it may well be it's beautiful, harmonious, and perfect, but is this? I mean, I'm not even going to go into whether it's realistic or not. Is it true?
Yeah, I agree.
don't know.
I think from a girl point of view, or from my point of view, I'm not trying to speak on behalf of all the girls because people are different.
Yeah.
From my point of view, I do have this kind of guilty pleasure. I'm less opposed to seeing things on social media than in real life. It's really interesting. I realized is, for example, when I saw couple post on social media, I was watching when I go through the posts, I was like, oh, that is nice. Oh, though they look very sweet. Obviously, on back of my mind, I would say, is it realistic? Like exactly what you were mentioning. But I felt I can share their joy in a way. I can still gain some pleasure or enjoyment from it. However, in real life, you saw them on the streets, you felt that could be me, but why am I not like that?
Yeah.
But on social media, because there are distances,
Yeah.
you don't, in a way that you aspire to be like that.
Okay.
But you don't necessarily feel bad because you don't have it yet, because there are still distance between you and that person on social media. And it was, well, despite the fact that I'm less a fan of seeing other people PDA, myself, even though I don't do them very much, is also depending on who I'm with. I think secretly I do like to PDA, and I would say that very honestly because in a way it's not showing off. It was more like that kind of freedom you have can show your affection wherever, whenever you want. But now obviously I don't do it much because I also mindful of other people's how they feel. I don't want to be, 己所不欲，勿施于人. I don't want to be the annoying person that I myself hate, right?
Yeah.
So that was like a bit of a different take in terms of social media post versus real PDA behavior in real life that I can see with my own eyes.
It's a very deep one. It's a deep topic, I think. When it comes to showing affection for someone that you care about, maybe it just shows how bad I am, perhaps, the relationship. I want to introduce someone who I think has had a big influence on both of us since we read his articles and check out his channel quite often, is Alain de Botton. Yeah, hopefully I haven't butchered his name. I remember quite distinctively about one specific topic that he talked about is on love or romanticism, that the sort of the beautiful Romeo and Juliet type where you meet someone you love, it's love on the first sight, and you chase after the girl is sort of, madly, hopelessly in love with you, and you both just dance off in the sunset by the beach, and that's the start of your happily ever after. And it's a very sort of a twisted way, as he refers it, of looking at what love actually is. Love actually entails on a everyday mundane that you have to overcome daily basis. If you just become a hopeless romantic, who's going to pay bills? But conversely, if you get too latched into the material world, you don't have that kind of romanticism that fuels your spiritual life to be in love with someone.
Yeah.
So again, I think it comes down to a fine balance, understanding, it's not as realistic as it probably might seem, but it's not so bleak as cynical self would typically see other relationships are. I think it's another book that I read. It's like, I think when you read about other people's relationship, for example PDA, it's almost like a sense of transference.
Yeah,
that you place your own happiness in the hands of others. Through them you acquire the happiness that you might have had but never probably had or haven't had in a long time, and through that process it makes you feel happy. I think that's great to many extents. How much you want to do that, I think it's down to the individual preference. I guess I haven't really been a personal fan of it because it's a thing that you come to an understanding that it's never that easy. It's never ever that easy.
Yeah.